There's so much good news. There's so much good news, you guys. There's so much. Welcome. This is Christina here to share good news. This might have been a difficult week, but we know that God is always up to something good, and He causes all things to work together for those who love Him and are called according to His purposes. And now it's time for some good news. In world news, I was so moved to see Christians taking the gospel to the streets of Minneapolis, right where the horrific incident with George Floyd happened. Isn't it amazing to see what the love of God can do? Infinity Online had their first online service last Friday. Here is Pastor Jared showing his moves. And here is Pastor Dane and Althea bringing the good news.
So for those of you who are unsure, should I go to the shop? Shouldn't I go to the shop? Should I go outside? Shouldn't I go outside? I want to tell you this. You should be confident in God. You should be confident in God that you can do all things through Christ. We're not telling you to be unwise, but we're telling you that God has the victory over every circumstance. So the battles that you fight in your mind, the unsurety and the lack of confidence and the lack of peace, God wins those wars in your mind. You just need to give it over to God and say, I'm not afraid. I have a powerful God. And then the last thing it says here in I want to read from verse 4. It says, one thing I ask of the Lord. You see, there's an asking that you need to do. This only will I seek. There's a seeking that you have to do, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life.
That is definitely some good news. And if you would like to tune in, check out GHCC's Facebook every Friday at 7:30 p.m. And now on to some more good news. Kim Samuels had some serious health issues. Here she is to share her story.
So a little earlier on in this year, it was about 7 weeks after I had given birth, I experienced severe abdominal pain for about a week. I think it got to about day 4 or 5, I'm not too sure, when my husband just decided that he'd had enough of my moaning and that I needed to get to hospital. So when I arrived at my gynecologist's office, she did a checkup, and when she did the scan, she discovered some cyst activity next to my ovary. She was worried because of the amount of pain that I'd been in, and for the amount of days the pain was continuing, she suggested that we do an emergency laparoscopic procedure so that she could either remove the cyst, or if need be, she would need to remove my entire ovary. During this time that I was now wheeled into surgery, Enrico had contacted Sandy and Eric because he was obviously overwhelmed with emotion. He contacted them, which they then contacted the pastoral team, and the next thing I knew, there was a chain of people praying for me. And so my testimony is about how powerful prayer is, because by the time that I had woken up, I was so overwhelmed and distraught myself, thinking that I'm going to wake up to having only one ovary. And the first thing was I checked my phone, and there was a message from my husband telling me that they didn't remove my ovary. It was actually my appendix. So for me, I just believe that whatever the devil had meant for evil, God had turned it around for my good.
That is definitely some good news. So don't worry if you get some bad news, because we know that God is a healing God and He's going to work it out for your good. So keep fighting, keep believing, get those prayer warriors around you, call the church, call your Life Connect leaders, and let's begin to pray and see God do miracles in your life. During this season, GHCC has been blessed to share food with those in need. Here is Pastor Luke to share the good news.
Hello, my name is Luke and I'm one of the pastors here at Good Hope Christian Center. Behind me you can see many of our staff members here busy packing food parcels for those in need. During this lockdown season in South Africa, We have come across many, many families that have lost employment, lost income, and lost the ability to feed themselves. So what we as a church have been able to do is, throughout the lockdown, feed thousands of people. Through your generosity and your giving, you're putting food on the table of those families in need. I want to thank you so much for every contribution that you've made, and I want to encourage you to continue sowing and investing into the lives of others. God bless you.
There are so many who have been blessed and are thankful for this food. Here is some of their stories.
Just want to take this opportunity to thank the pastors of Good Hope Christian Center for providing us with food parcels during this time of lockdown. A special thank you to Pastor Shemaine, because that food parcels always seems to come through at the right time.
The COVID-19 make everybody crazy, and there is always a hunger. Since it starts, there were a hunger. There were people that doesn't have food and doesn't have enough money. So I was one of that people, and this morning I came to Good Hope Christian Center, and I just want to say thank you, because they blessed me with a nice food parcel.
That is definitely some good news. If you'd like to support helping our people eat, please go to ghcc.tv/giving. Your generosity will help those in need. There's good news out there, and we want to hear it. Thank you so much for joining with us. We want to share your story. Send us a message at ghcc.tv/mystory, as well as on Facebook Messenger at GHCC Fans. And always remember, there's more good news out there.